Hi, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another Warhammer 40k video where I will be doing painting. A little while ago I said I would be doing a painting video for you guys, and I finally have an idea of how I want to set things up. That's my puppy Mika. So I'm finally going to start getting into doing a painting video. Now I do have a couple current works in progress going on. I have 2 more Thunderkin to finish, and as well as the anniversary call and the 40th Wrath of the Ancients E-Champion for the Votan. I will show you, however, I finished this guy up yesterday. I'm so happy with the way this dude came out. It's so good. You can't really focus on him, but he's so good, so crisp, so clean. I did a lot of edge highlighting on this one, and it's the first time I really went like all out on edge highlighting. It wasn't just like bits and pieces, like every single edge I can get my hands on I edge highlighted, so this was fun. I like doing that, so I'll probably keep doing that. But what I'm going to be painting for you guys today is this. Last month, October, they gave out free Stern Guards, a single free Stern Guard at the Games Workshop store, and it happened to also be on the day of the anniversary as well as 40th anniversary. So I went and picked up, bought at least the Call, the Ancient, or Wrath of the Ancients, and a free Stern Guard. So I put up a poll on my Instagram. If you don't know I have an Instagram, it's Pure Evil Minis, as well as on Twitter. That's brand new. I just did that a couple days ago, so it's not really got traction yet. But on Instagram, it's Pure Evil Minis or Miniatures, and you can find me with, I'll put up my logo here somewhere, and you can find that and the stuff I do. I put up a poll there as well as on the Play on Tabletop subreddit, or Discord rather, to figure out what I wanted to do with this guy. I have a scheme in mind for Space Marines if I ever play Space Marines again. However, I don't intend to. My next army will be another Xeno army. It'll be the Necrons or Orcs. I'm not sure which one yet. But I had a scheme in mind, and it is the Vanguard from Destiny 2, because my Votan are based on the new Monarchy. Minor tweaks to the color scheme. It's supposed to be gray, but I did white. It's supposed to be gray, red, gold, and white, I think. But I just did white, red, and gold. The poll I put up was to do either a Halloween, a Christmas, or the Vanguard color scheme. And it came back pretty much unanimously across Instagram as well as the Play on Discord, Christmas. So I'm going to be doing a Christmas themed Space Marine, and I think that's going to be a lot of fun. I have ideas of what I want to do. So yeah, I've got a lot of thinking of what I want to do, because if the main body is going to be green, I don't want to do it like Dark Angels green. But see, if I do that, if I do like a deep green, like a Dark Angels green, and then edge highlight it with a brighter green, like Moot, that'll definitely make it look like a pine tree. I might do Christmas tree, like pine tree, with edge highlights in bright greens to make it look like needles, and then a couple little dots here and there to make it look like Christmas lights. And then I'll do the head a vibrant either gold or yellow. I don't know which one. That's I'm liking the sounds of that. I think that's what I'm going to do. Anyways, I got to figure out how to record this now, because I've never recorded a painting video before. So somehow I have to get this to cooperate with that. And because I use this magnifying glass to do basically all of my painting. So I'm going to try to figure out how to do this, and then we'll go from there. All right, so first things first, I did a very watered down base coat of Caliban green. I did about 4 coats just to make sure that everything was this kind of pine tree green that I was going for. It took about 4 coats because I like to really water down my first base coat colors, just to make sure all the details can still pop out at the end. After that, I did the Tabard, which was done in Mornfang Brown, and this only took about 3 coats, 2 or 3 coats I think, because it's a lot thicker and it's a lot lighter than the Caliban green, so sometimes I find with the green it kind of blends in with the black primer if you don't do enough of it. The brown just popped right away, so it only took about 2 or 3 coats I believe. Once I was done with the Tabard, I moved on to doing the brighter colors. I pulled out bright red, bright green, bright blue, my bright yellow. I took out all my bright colors and started highlighting the pouches and the belt and stuff like that in all of the Christmassy colors to kind of represent a tree skirt and presents. After I did the belt and the pouches, I moved on to doing all of the gold highlights. Now, gold is also a very Christmassy color. Generally, it's usually paired with doing red and white and gold, which is my Votan color, so I didn't do that with this guy. But gold is also just a generic kind of Christmas color because it is supposed to be, one of the presents that was given to Jesus or whatever.
So I went around, I did the reliquary on his waist there, I did the skull on his kneecap, the quill on his chest, and the little vial that's hanging next to his holster. After that, it came to the edge highlighting. And I like edge highlighting, I really do, but Space Marines have a lot of edges to highlight, and really it was more of a pain in the butt to do it, and it didn't come out looking the way I wanted it to. So I went in with a dry brush and I just quickly slapped on some moot green. I really dried it down and kind of slapped that on. However, it really covered the flat areas, which I didn't want. I just wanted the highlights. So at the end of the video, I kind of go back in with a very watered down Caliban green and kind of just diffuse the highlights I put on. And then once I was done doing the base color scheme on the body, which is generally how it works, is I'll do the base color scheme on the body, and then once I'm done with that, I'll go on to the bits and pieces, the arms, the heads, the backpacks, that kind of stuff, and apply the same colors to those, because they're a lot smaller, they're a lot easier to do. The bolter was a bit of an experiment. I wasn't really sure how I liked it, because it kind of looks very much like my color scheme in certain video games that I play. I do like a red body with gold everything else. I do enjoy it though, it looks very good. It doesn't look Christmassy to me though. However, the shoulder pad, the big stern guard shoulder pad, I painted that in a flat white and tried to candy cane stripe it like I do with my hazard stripes. It didn't really come out the way I wanted it to. They're very awkward and mismatched, and they don't look great, especially once I put the colors on for the lighting, but it was a first attempt doing a different color scheme with the same thing on a different surface. So I'll try again next time maybe, but it is what it is. After that, it came down to doing the extra details, which was doing the super watered down Caliban green to diffuse all of the dry brushing that I'd done earlier. And then I also applied a lot of edge highlighting for colors. I did all the bright colors again I did for the hip, but on certain edges coming just from the back, where I put that tree on the screen is where I wanted the light source to be coming from. However, I just go into a little bit more detail later on how I didn't like this approach. I'm going to do it differently in another attempt on another model later on. And finally was the basing, and this was interesting. I had never done a snow base before. So what my idea was basically just kind of like paper mache. So I took white glue, water, and toilet paper, and I kind of just dabbed it on. And it took a whole night to dry, but the end result looks really good. It does look like he's walking more on ice than snow. If I had just left it looking like the toilet paper it was at the end of it when it's dry, it would have looked fantastic. Maybe just a dry brushing of white over top would have looked great. Or a really, really, really light blue would have looked really good, but it is what it is. And all in all, I think it came out looking really good for my first Space Marine in about 20 years.
Okay, so we're getting there. He looks more like he's been through a paintball match than sending in Christmas lights, which that's on me. I don't know how to do lighting like this. This is literally my first attempt at doing it, so I don't know. I could have probably looked at some tutorials, but I kind of just wanted to go for it and see what happens. And yeah, he looks more like he's been through a paintball match, which is fine. It's just all over his back here. It's just multiple different colors now. And some of it does kind of spill over. One thing that I do know about lighting, given two factors. One, I went to film school. And two, I've been studying it for my game development, because I do game development on here from time to time. Light isn't just a hard surface. Like, you can see it behind me here. Like, the light above me is diffused a little bit, but it doesn't always create just hard lines. You can see there's still purple there. Like, underneath the shadow of the TV, there's still purple. If I turn this light on, I can see inside the closet. And not just like the front of it, I can see into the back, into the corners. It's not all pitch black. Light isn't just a hard thing. It's kind of like more like a fog. When you turn a light on, it envelops the room or the space it's in, and it spills into other areas. So I tried to do that on here by having more watered down colors on the shoulder pads to make it kind of like look like it's more really raining outside right now. Make it look like it's more like spilling over the edges and stuff like that. However, on the back here, I wanted to make it more hard because it's directly into the light. But I'm thinking now on the back here, it would just be the colors. I probably shouldn't have painted the back green. I probably should have saved it the way it was. And this was before I knew what I was doing. But I should have saved it the way it was and painted it the multiple different colors. Maybe even done like a base coat white and then done big splotches of these colors or little tiny intermingled like
camo pattern almost to make it look like I wanted it to look like. So it's a good first attempt at that kind of a lighting scheme. I've learned from my mistakes. However, I think the snow base is coming along really well. I'm really good at basing. I have to wait for it to dry. It's still wet. But as you saw, it's basically just paper towel, white glue, water, kind of mushed around. And then once it hardens, I'll probably try and take him out. And then if I can't take him out, I'll just paint around him. But otherwise, I think it's a pretty solid base concept. And if I want to, I can do other Marines or other armies in this color scheme. I kind of want to get into doing another Xeno army, but I still have to finish my 1K at least. 40 Votan army. I'm debating if I'm going to do Tower Necrons. I love Space Marines. I literally have a Dark Angels tattoo, Deathwing tattoo rather. I love Space Marines. However, as I've grown up as a person, I've fallen more in love with the Xenos, where I like the Orcs and the Votan and the Tau and the Necrons and all those species. I love them. I'm not so hard into the Imperium anymore. I've never liked Chaos. So I'm debating between the Xeno races if I'm going to do Tau, Necron, Orc, etc. Once I've done at least 1K Votan. I need to get to 2K because I want to do tournaments and stuff like that, but you know, it is what it is. Anyway, I'm going to get this guy sitting down and drying. I'm going to finish watching my Play On live stream, and then I'm going to actually go to the Warhammer store because I have to pick up something for a friend. Anyways, I'll see you in a little bit. Hi. So I'm literally editing the video right now, and I realized I didn't end it properly. So basically what happened after that was I let the base dry. I then dry brushed it, not dry brush, sorry, I then put on some light blue, like my lightest blue, very, very watered down. Well, it was still kind of wet as the base, so it could absorb into the toilet paper, which it did. It absorbed and it kind of spread out, which saved me paint and allowed the color to kind of seep in. I did that across the entire base, so it was nice and blue. Once it was dry, like entirely dry, I went in and heavily dry brushed it with white, and it gave it this kind of really nice, almost icy look rather than snow. So I think it looks amazing. Again, I'm sorry, I don't know if you can hear the rain or not, but it's really raining today. So the base looks more like it's like the Space Marine walking on snow-covered ice, which is still really cool. So all in all, I think it was a very good trial run for 1, a new basing technique, and 2, a new lighting technique, and 3, I don't really dry brush anything anymore, so it's a lot of fun to dry brush something. Mostly everything I do is edge highlighted, so there's that. So that's it. That's it for the video. The next painting video I do will be the Ancestors' Wrath, and I've got a really cool design. I'm going to leave it there, and you can see that in the next one. But yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions or any tips or anything like that, leave them down below. If you come here and you're just going to shout thin your paints down, you can just leave, because I hate that. When I started painting, people would just pop into my comments on Instagram or Facebook and be like, water down your paints, in all caps, and I'm like, thanks, I know. So anyways, that's a little rant. I'm gonna go because I have a lot of other videos to start working on. Peace.